what we really believe on that, and the reason we push it so hard, is every coach has got some different strengths. Every sport has got different challenges it's going to present, and our goal, when it's said and done, we love winning games. When it's said and done, what we want is students who participate in our athletic programs or in activities programs. Those are platforms to build leadership. They're platforms to build their resilience, their ability to handle adversity and overcome it and come out better on the other side of it, to be able to work with other people. And our philosophy on that, quite frankly, is the more coaches and the more styles and the more situations we can get them into, the more different personality styles they got to build relationships with. By getting them involved in multiple sports and multiple activities, they're exposed to so many different situations, scenarios, struggles, and then we support them and help them get through that we just don't think there's a whole lot when they get out past us, and that whatever post-secondary activities they're going to have, whether it's college or the workforce right away or the military, we feel like we've equipped them to manage that. Whereas if they're just involved in one sport, it's just such and it's great for those it works out for, and we certainly celebrate those athletes that want to do that, but it becomes such a narrow path that they're only exposed to those situations and those scenarios and those struggles. And sometimes when you get outside, those kids who do that, when all of a sudden they're faced with something that comes a different challenge that's outside that small window they've been exposed to, it's hard to manage. And so we really try to get them exposed to different things. And as you've talked to a lot of our coaches, from my standpoint as an AD, how can I not want a student athlete, one of our female student athletes, to be involved with Michelle Goodall and Scott Myers in the spring as a soccer coach, or Brian White in the fall and Kurt Packabeer in the spring. I mean, they're great leaders, great guys and gals who've got great things to teach kids. And so why not get them exposed to as many as we can?
I'm a very big proponent of doing more. The only thing we ask is that they recognize if doing more is suffering their academics, then they need to stop. And at the end of the day, their academics is what's going to take them to the next point, whether it's a scholarship for athletics, whether it's a scholarship for academics. It's going to be appealing to that next coach, that they're good students. And so if they're doing too much, we'll kind of shut them down. Or in the other aspect of it is if they're doing something for the harm of their body. I was a player who played through everything, and we don't let our girls do that here because we'd like them to walk at 30. We'd like them to be able to play with their kids at 40. And while it's a big picture, it's an important picture that, again, as a coach, you have to have that role and understand it, because they don't.
Yeah.
So somebody has to.
Exactly. You know, even though we're considered a big school, and I think a lot of the times that's what happens in a bigger school, kids start to specialize in stuff, we still need everybody. And whether you're at a small school where that's really essential, because you don't have as many to choose from, it's just as essential here at a bigger school. But you're right, the overuse thing, if you do your research, if you got a baseball kid that plays base, that's why the Tommy John surgeries are so up with young kids. And that yeah, it's bound to happen when you got a kid pitching year round, or you got a kid, you know, we've got a really good freshman softball player right now, a pitcher who goes all over the nation and does these, and she's having a lot of shoulder problems right now, you know. And so yeah, I'm constantly, and plus I have a huge amount of pride in Kennedy. I've been here a long time. I don't plan on leaving. And so I want us to be very successful. And I know that to be successful, we got to have our best kids. And so that's why we're always pushing.
We announce it and we'll work with athletes. The tricky thing is when like the club scene comes in, we will always say, you know, your school sport will always come first. And we preach it and we support it. We've got some kids on not only multi-sport but multi-activity. We're really big on north-south. Here at Kennedy, the south end is like the gym, the north end are our theaters. And so we encourage our kids to, you know, do their music end, their fine arts end, and we'll work with the directors. We don't let the athlete get, you know, tied up like, I don't know which one to go to if there's a true overlap. And as directors and coordinators, we'll work together and help the athlete say, okay, tonight you're going to do show choir for these hours, and then you'll come to your sport. And so it comes down to communication. We just have to make sure that we alleviate some of that stress and make it happen.